For today's beginner's guide for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, we'll look at a character that when I first unlocked him and I was playing around with him early game, he actually felt a bit like this. Thankfully he's a character that as you leveled him he gets exceptionally better, and he ended up feeling like this. That's right, today we'll have a look at the mighty Thor, and he is without a doubt mighty. Now in the video we start off by having a look at his overview and also his stats. We'll then have a look at his abilities. Next up it's his team bonuses. We then check out his synergies. We follow that up by having a look at the build options available and the best ISO 8 to put on him. It's then the alternative costumes, and then we finish up with a quick summary. So let's jump in and start off with the overview. Straight away then, Thor does exceptionally well here. He has a consistent tag across all of his abilities, and it's actually a tag that allows you to get one of the highest damage bonuses in the game. That would be the shock tag. When we look at his hero traits, he's got 4 of them. I don't believe any other character has as many of these. So he's got flight, super strength, he's resistant to shock, and he can also add shock to himself as well, and with his abilities he'll have an exceptionally high uptime on it. Stat wise he does really well. His strength is a B, vitality is a B, mastery is a B, resilience is a B, durability is a B, and we almost had a full house there, but energy is down at a C. So straight away from the start, as mentioned, he's looking really nice here. Now let's have an in-depth look at his abilities. The first ability we look at here is also the first ability you unlock with him, so this is Thunder Strike. So this particular one, it's a channeled skill. It adds shock element to your own attacks, it adds shock element to ally attacks. It's one that once I was able to level up for and get all these other abilities, I don't really go back to this at all, and this is one of the reasons that I feel early game you can feel a little bit underwhelming, but once you move on from this and start to unlock the other abilities, then it gets a whole lot more fun. Next ability we have here is Mjolnir's Might, and this is when things start to get really better with Thor. So this is your primary stagger skill. You can see the stagger rating is up at A, so use this on your bosses or your elites. It's actually really nice at taking out trash as well. Now, like other charge moves, you can hold this down. The longer you hold it, the further he'll charge, and you actually do roughly 25% additional damage if you do hold it down and fully charge it there. So absolutely awesome skill. The next ability we have here is Hammer Hurl. Now this particular one, I'll use this to either take out trash when I'm surrounded by them, or if I've broken the stagger gauge in a boss using Mjolnir's Might, then you can follow up with this one and you really do a nice amount of damage on it. The final ability we have here is Stormbringer, and this is one due to the way it's set up. Ideally you want to use it every 6 seconds, and the reason for that is this will add the shock element to your own attacks and also to ally attacks. Now of course you could do that via Thunder Strike, but this skill is far superior, so you will be using this often. Again, like Hammer Hurl before it, you can use this one after you're breaking the stagger gauge on a boss or an elite to actually do a nice amount of damage, and I actually prefer this because you'll be doing the high amount of damage, but you'll be making sure you've got that high uptime on the shock element on Thor as well. Now with the shock element from testing, it does apply to his light and also his heavy attack as well there. So that's the abilities. Let's now have a look at his team bonuses. For this team bonus section, we'll now use the new format I used in the Cyclops and Colossus guide. So with this, what I've essentially done is took a list of all the different team affiliations available, break it down into characters. Where there's any overlap where a character shows in several categories, then I'll actually put that in brackets as a number next to them for how many categories they actually show in. So in this instance for Thor, the teams he has is Original Avengers, Marvel Royalty, Gods and Demons, Heavy Hitters, Avengers, and also Family Values, so quite a few there. The characters that you can get the most out of if you run them alongside would be Hulk and Loki. You can see they actually fall into 3 different teams, and we've got quite a few characters that would fall into 2 different teams as well. I won't list them all because there is quite a few there, but hopefully this helps you make a decision in regards to the team you want to run them in. So the next section we'll look at will be the synergies. With Thor's abilities, we have 3 different synergy traits that are available, so it's Area Assault, Charge and Shock, and you can see you can get quite a few different attacks from them. Now, in regards to the top 5 characters that he synergizes well with, so if you're trying to do an Infinity Trial where you need to get a set amount of synergy damage, these are the characters to run. So you've got Wolverine, Miss Marvel, Luke Cage, Drax and also Hulk. Now, I will mention it with Wolverine and Drax, they have what's classed as weapons, so Thor can actually add the shock element to them, so you really want to consider running them. It's a really nice combination. Bottom 5, this is characters you want to avoid generally running Thor with. It would be Deadpool, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Thanos, and once again Scarlet Witch at the bottom of the list there. Now, the next section we'll have a look at anyway will be the build options available. For the build options, I would say that you have 2 available on Thor, and this is really down to the fact that he can put out a lot of damage and he can actually take a lot of damage as well. So the first one you've got is a tank support role. Now with this, due to the fact he can add the shock element to allies that have weapons, then he can buff them in that respect even if you're not playing as him. From the tanking perspective, what you would do is you would put the increased likelihood of being targeted by 44.5% on him, and then the enemies will target him more often. To increase his survivability even more, you can do increased damage resistance by 15.5, increased vitality by 9.8, and also gives 3.4 hit point regen every 10 seconds. This can really help keep him up if he has been focused down. If you want to run him with a damage build, and this is the one person I would use with him, then it's all about speccing into the shock element, because via Stormbringer you can add that to his heavy and light attack, and his abilities already have the shock tag. So you would go for increased damage of shock attacks by 24.9, increased crit hit chance of shock attacks by 13.1. Until you actually get these, then what you would want to use, due to the fact it has energy and melee tags, you would want to use your flat bonuses. So you would use increased crit hit chance by 8% and also increased damage done to enemies by 16.5%. So that's the build options available. Both of them are a whole lot of fun. Let's now have a look at his alternative costume. At the moment then, for the alternative costume, it's just a simple recolour, and yes, you guessed it, once again it's the blue colour that seems to apply to so many of the characters. Now in time I'm hoping we get the likes of maybe Gladiator Hulk from Ragnarok. That's a costume I'd really like to see. Now this is unlocked via an Infinity Trial, the one where you're taking on Loki. You can see that at the moment. The hardest part of this particular stage is actually the camera, and that's if you play it in the heroic mode. So I would say play it in just the classic camera and it shouldn't really get stuck behind the scenery, which seems to happen an awful lot of the time, unfortunately. But that's alternative costume. Let's just finish up now with a quick summary. Thor then, in a lot of ways, actually reminds me of my current favourite character in the game, Colossus, in that he can take a huge amount of damage, but he can actually put out a huge amount of damage as well. A lot of characters, they're balanced, so it's either one or the other, but you get the odd character that seems to be able to do both, and Thor most definitely falls into that category. If we look at all the different things he can offer as well, he's got flight, so that's really good for getting round levels and getting past the laser beams, although Colossus is now the solution to getting past the laser beams. If you watch my beginner's guide for him, if you didn't, make sure to check that out. Thor also has super strength, he's got the shock resistance, he's got the ability to add shock to his own attacks and also add it to allies, and shock is the best element out of the 3. You've got his high stats, and you've also got the fact he's great at taking out bosses and taking out trash, so he really is the complete package, and I can understand why a lot of people would say he is the best character in the game. Personally, I still prefer Colossus, but that is just personal preference. On paper, I would say that yes, Thor is better, and that's really largely down to the shock element on top of all the other bonuses such as the health and the offense and so on. So as always, I hope this particular beginner's guide has been helpful. Let me know in the comments below who you would like to see me cover next. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, hit share, leave a comment below to help drive engagement, and hit that subscribe button if you've not already done so and you're enjoying the content. And thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all again soon.